Well, I've watched a ton of your videos, and one that I really enjoyed was when you were having a conversation with another of my heroes, a comedian Dave Smith. And you guys were discussing in there that rap artists and comics are the bastions of free speech. That's a quote. Can you say more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're talking about something like free speech, it's always been artists of various sorts who have always pushed the boundaries. I mean, I think one of the most interesting things about art in any of its forms is its ability to do that, to go outside of the mainstream. Of course, you can have mainstream art, but you can also have subversive art, you can have offensive art, you can have religious art, you can have political art, you can, whatever it is. It doesn't, whether you're talking about cartoons or you're talking about films, video games, comedy, music, and with hip hop and rap in particular, it's always been a form of music that's considered to be somewhat rebellious and a little bit anti-establishment. That's even really how it started. If you go back and you look at the origins of hip hop coming out of New York, especially in the 70s and then into the 80s, 90s, so on and so forth, it's always been, you know, rappers are a form of musician where the artist and the writer, first of all, are one and the same. And in some forms of music and lots of pop and lots of rock, actually the person singing the song is not necessarily the person who wrote it. Whereas in hip hop, it's very individualistic. It's about you representing yourself. Nobody goes to a school or a college to learn how to rap. You teach yourself how to rap. You create your own style. And it's also one of the only forms of music where you can literally talk about anything, right? In some forms of music, you're somewhat limited in terms of the type of content you can create. But in hip hop, you can make a song about literally anything, and you have a lot of space to express yourself. And comedy is similar in that sense, is in there's no boundaries, right? It's up to the artist to push those boundaries, find where they are and push them and nudge them. And sometimes, they may cross the line a little bit and it might be like, okay, that was a little bit too far. But I think the concept of free speech is so important to those art forms because you have to be able to push those boundaries and get new messages out there and say stuff that is funny, say stuff that is truthful, even say stuff that is potentially fictional and a little bit out there. So I think that when I say that comedians and rappers are the bastions of free speech, what I mean is that those are the people who, if people are attacking free speech and they're trying to censor those art forms in particular, then we need to be the ones really ringing that alarm bell, because when people start coming after comedy, when people start coming after musicians, etc., you know you're in dangerous territory.